by Worcestershire though. Picked up those 2 wickets. Always useful. Pick up a couple in the power play. Long format though, of course, is a lot. The other thing, when you were talking about the bowlers in T20 before, the other thing I was going to say that makes it different is that you've got a chance to recover, haven't you? You've got, if you do lose early wickets, there's no need to panic. Left alone this one, so you know you've got a chance to just sort of pull it together and maybe get together at the crease in the middle and say to each other, well, look, you know, let's just, it doesn't matter if we use up 4 or 5 overs here, let's just restore a bit of stability. Whereas I think particularly, I thought this year in the T20 cricket that I saw, and I saw all Worcestershire's games, absolute, it was, you know, 6th gear from ball 1 a lot of the time. And even early wickets, power play 3-4 wickets down, didn't change anything. Everybody just kept going for it. With the view, I think, that, you know, you might as well die all guns blazing in an attempt to get 200 than limp along to 140. The irony is that here at New Road, 150, 160 was a decent score.
I mentioned that Ben Allison had bowled Worcestershire's first maiden of the competition this season. Well, he's now bowled their second as well. So 2 maidens for Ben Allison, 29 for 2. Yeah, I think it's a concern that some people have with when England play 50 over cricket, because most of their players predominantly play the shorter stuff. There is an adjustment required. That's flicked onto the non-striker stumps. Well done to Nick Gubbins for making sure he stayed in his crease there as it comes off Matthew's weight, hands onto the stumps.
Yeah, my concern, and you know, it's a bit of a you're in danger if you say anything like this of being labelled as a bit of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But my concern is that if and it's thrilling, don't get me wrong, some of the stuff that we watched in T20 cricket, and even the way England play sometimes in test matches now, it's thrilling stuff.
That's a good shot, and that's going to go all the way, I think. Adam Finch chases it, he won't get there. Very nice shot from McMullen. It's second boundary, it's on to 9, 33 for 2.
My concern is that although it's thrilling and although it's incredibly innovative, and batters can play shots these days that weren't dreamed about even 10 years ago, I think. When they get against a red ball in helpful conditions for the bowler,
comes down. Oh, that's a very positive strike from McMullen. He came down the pitch, he lost it over Matthew Waite's head, bounces just in front of the ropes for back-to-back boundaries for the Scottish international.
When they get into those sort of situations, have they got a technique that's good enough to cope? Yeah. And that still remains the question, doesn't it, for the likes of Zach Crawley and so on. And it remains to be seen what happens in the winter and so on. But that's my concern. There's some great stuff being played though, no doubt about that.
And that's pushed out to the offside. There's no run. Well, I did hear some of the pundits sometimes actually saying that, playing 50 over cricket, it's just like playing T20, and I'm not sure that's right. I get yes, you want to hear attacking shots from the start, but as you say, you have to develop with the match and how the match goes, rather than just. I mean,
scores of over 350 are going to become commonplace. I think there's no doubt about that. But yeah, it's a different format. 2 great shots from McMullen. Yeah, it's over.
He settles for working that one onto the leg side, but he's done the damaged Matthew Waite's figures a little bit.
Beautiful shot straight down the ground. He's a tall man. He appears to be very nicely balanced. Love that punch off the back foot, first ball of the over as well. Beautiful balance and poise.
As I say, although this is his county debut, he does have a fair pedigree behind him. 4 one-day international hundreds. That way he's driven into the ground, but it's fielded by Cashivali in the covers. So just the 2 scoring shots, but 2 excellent scoring shots from Brandon McMullen. 2 fours, puts him on to 13. And Hampshire are 37 for 2 after 8 overs.
Yeah, the men out, if you're just joining us, Nick Gubbins. Sorry, Ali Orr, not Nick Gubbins, he's still there. Gubbins on 14. The men out, Ali Orr for 10. 4 and a 6 before he was caught behind off the last ball of the first over. And then Tilak Varma bowled, offering no shot to Ben Allison, who has picked up both the wickets and is continuing from the New Road end. And a run here for Gubbins, off the back foot, forced into the covers. Oliveira Fields. So yeah, £10 for adults, £1 for juniors here at New Road today. So if you're in Worcester, if you're in the area, it's a lovely day, plenty of room, nice conditions, plenty of ice creams available. Get yourself down here and watch it firsthand. If not, of course, you're very welcome to stay with us. Oh, that's a great take down the leg side by Henry Cullen. And had it come off the bat, it would have been a very spectacular catch by the keeper, diving to his left. There was an appeal. Umpire says not out, David Milnes, because it only came off the pad. But it was a good bit of work by the young man who's come into the side. Give Gareth Roderick a break after he's played every game last season in every competition, more or less every game this season. Henry Cullen getting a run with the gloves. Nicely judged single, pushed up to mid-on.
Yeah, I know it's early days in this match. We talk about people coming to the game, but it already has a feel of what could be a really interesting game, this one. We're seeing boundaries, we're seeing wickets. And an interesting contest between bat and ball.
Nick Gubbins already has had a life when he was on 12, dropped at second slip by Ben Allison, low to his left, difficult chance. I think it carried, got 2 hands to it, but just couldn't pick it up. He's a big man, a long way to go down at slip. Has fielded slip a fair bit this year in Championship cricket, although normally expect to see Adam Hose and Rob Jones in there, probably. Neither of them in the side. Hose, of course, away with the 100. And Gubbins doing his best to make Worcestershire pay. Always think when you're batting, if you get put down, yeah, make them pay for that. Make them rue that missed opportunity late in the day, and it's so often proves to be the case.
Brian Lara certainly did that when he was dropped on 18.
He did indeed.
501.
Good from Allison though. He's bowled 2 maidens so far. He's in his 5th over. And that's the end of his 5th over. Maidens 2 for 19.
Yeah, good stuff from Ben Allison then. That's his last over of the power play, because we have 1 over left in the power play, the first 10 overs, where only 2 fielders are allowed on the boundary. And they pretty much throughout have been at third and at long leg. And it is just the 2 bowlers to bowl during the power play, because Matthew Waite is to continue from the Douglas end. Still 2 slips of pace. Wicketkeeper standing up now, though. And McMullen came down the pitch a couple of times in the last over. He's prevented from doing that now, and he mistimed that one. Comes off the inside of the bat. Adam Finch is now twirling his arms with a little bit more purpose. I think we'll see him after the power play. He's fielding right down in front of us. commentary position. Visit Worcestershire New Road. Wait to McMullen. Solidly defended. It's a dot ball. They have reined themselves in a little bit. They were going 5 and over in the early part of the power play. They're a bit below that now. There's 2 wickets down, forcing them to rethink. On the whole, teams seem rather less concerned about the power play in the 50 over format than they are in others. Waits in, he's flicked that down to Finlay. This time he hasn't got it fine enough, McMullen, to beat the fielder down there, Isaac Mohammed, and has to settle for a single. 40 for 2. Sun shining through, a bit of haze, a sort of hazy feel to the day. Might make high catches a little tricky. And it's tipped round the post by Wake. McGovern is able to get through for 1. Back round go the fielders and the umpires, the right-handed McMullen, and again Henry Cullen stands up to him.